Welcome back to the Race Day studio in our secret location, 21 Woodlands Drive in Woodmead. And it's been a long time coming. I've been trying to track down this fast young man for a very, very long time. But today's the day. He can't escape us any longer. But he's actually not even in South Africa at the moment. And like all superbike or motorcycle races, he's actually at the track as we speak. KJ, so good to finally track you down and catch up with you. It's been a long time coming, but welcome to the studio. I'm just so glad we can finally talk about your journey because, yeah, it's been quite a career you've had, and I believe that things are signed and sealed for next season. But welcome.
Hi everyone. Hope you're all well. Well, I'm doing all good. So yeah, happy to be on the show. And
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, for sure. Like, I mean, there's a bit of a delay between us, but yeah, take us through it, man, because you're quite a handsome young man, and I mean, you haven't been racing that long, and for me, I mean, you feel like you know everyone, but there's always these fast youngsters coming out of nowhere. But you've sort of flown under the radar for quite some time, and we were chatting off air now, 3.5 years overseas already. I mean, the time's flown, and you've done so many great things already in your short career. But take us back to where it started. How did you get involved in motorcycle racing? Where did it start for you? And who was the one that pushed you in that direction?
so I started motorcycle racing at around about 10 years old. Now I'm currently 17. So yeah, in 2019, well 2017 actually, I had my first training camp at Idube, which was like my first time on a motorcycle bike. But like just before that, I like as a youngster, as a kid growing up, I always liked, this store called Toys R Us and stuff. I used to always get motorbikes from there and stuff, like Hot Wheels, but I like the bikes. So I just had an interest for like motorbikes, and then from there, my dad got me a bicycle and stuff at like 5 years old, and I was just doing crazy stuff because I was like, I think I'm an adrenaline junkie though, but other than that, I just really loved the adrenaline and two wheels. And like at 2017, the like Samra NSF 100 Training Academy, which was Neil Herron, came to my school for like a show to showcase their training academy, and my dad and I went. It was a kind of a like my dad kind of contemplated on going there we, to like try out one race or something or training on a motorcycle because he thought I would probably be like a cyclist or something, since I really like mountain biking and stuff. And even before we went to the Samra, my dad got me a motocross bike, which is an 85. And after that, I like, and then that's when I think it was a month later, I started with the training academy for Neil with Neil, and uh, it was really awesome because then I was doing like motocross and road racing. At the time, it was like when I was 10, as I said, 10, 11. And, but then my dad had to, obviously, he told me I had to choose one like 2 years later as I was 12 or something. And uh, I just had more passion for road racing, and the motocross was like really fun. You could never go bored with motocross, but I really like the feeling of being having speed, in my life, and that gave me a bit more adrenaline, and that's what I liked more. So I decided to go with the road racing. I also progressed way a lot more in the road racing, which I liked a lot. But other than that, I feel like after like I think it was after my third year, well, my second year of road racing was in 2020. I won the championship for the NSF 100 on my second year of racing, and in 2021, I won the 150 championship. So in my well, 6 years, 7 years of racing, I've won four championships, which is really good because I, I mean, for me, my dad and my mom saw this something in me, and I also saw something in me. But it was kind of hard to, for my mom to accept me doing road racing and stuff because she was a bit scared. Obviously, if you're a little child,
Yeah.
you're like racing motorbikes at such a speed is, you know, yeah. Other than that, my family really didn't come from motorbikes. My whole family is like comes from running. So
Okay.
yeah, physically,
Yeah.
I think I'm built pretty well, but
Okay.
I just decided to go with two wheels, which I really liked.
So take us through that because you said like, I mean, this is quite interesting for me that you went. Neil Herron actually came to your school and did a presentation on racing there. When you and your dad sat at that presentation, then how did you sell that to your dad? What is the clinching factor? We're like, we've got to try this. This is something we have to do. Because I mean, I remember like begging my dad to try and get me into the racing scene. He was like, never. And it was more on our side like a money factor. But I want to know for and if maybe you can give the youngsters out there a bit of advice. How do you convince your parents to put in a bit of money and to sort of calm your mother down to let you go racing? What did you say to them? Because obviously there's a trick here.
I mean, as a kid, I didn't really have a good like way of thinking. But the only way of thinking, since I was still in school, I told my dad I would bribe him with me having good marks in like maths or something. And
Okay.
then I'd ask him to like do like the racing and stuff. So I bribed him
Okay.
with good marks from school.
I mean that's fair. I think with that being said, I had absolutely no chance of swinging that with my parents. When you got down to Adube, because from what I understand, I've never actually been there myself, but Adube is quite a very technical, undulating track in that. Your first time there at a training camp, what is the probably the biggest takeaway or the biggest closer for you that when you climbed on the bike and you did a couple of laps, you decided this is for me. What was that determining factor? Was it the speed? Was it the fact that you're completely in control and free out on the track? What sort of sealed the deal for you to become a motorcycle racer and to go race internationally?
I think what made me like to actually take this path was me like having that. Obviously, I said the speed and adrenaline. Also,
Okay,
like a lot of you know people passing me, and I like to be like I like passing people back and stuff, and it was like really nice, like a nice dice, a nice battle on the track, which really opened my eyes. It made me like a lot very vigilant and stuff, and I really like that. So it just something like I love doing from there, and from there I obviously didn't start. I started off really bad, but then the more times I went back, I always found something to improve, and it wasn't like a small improvement. It was something like a big improvement there and a big improvement there. So I just wanted to go up from there.
okay. I mean that's fair. I think you've absolutely nailed that question for anyone that wants to go racing. But let's go on because you said you've won 4 championships already, and it went from NSF to the 150s and that. From there, I mean, obviously now you're looking to progress because I feel like once you've done a championship, it's time to move on. There are guys that want to go back and confirm that they are the best in that class, but you obviously were looking at bigger and better things. How did that conversation start, or who were you talking to try and take this journey overseas? How did that whole thing come together? Because it, for me, even now, I mean, I've spoken to a lot of racers in my time here with Race Day Studios and it's always the most mind-boggling thing is how do we get from here to get overseas?
Well, my dad spoke with my mom obviously about the potential and the love they had for the sport. But my mom was really like, no, I don't want to take it to the next level. I like it where he is. But my dad was kind of passionate of also the sport since like it was new to him, something new. And I don't know, someone spoke some, I don't know, sense or something into my dad, and
Okay.
you know, they like my mom and my dad spoke. I think it was around 2021 when after I won the 150 championship, or during the 150 championship season, where I showed a lot of potential, and my dad didn't want to, try like waste time, and
Yeah.
he just wanted me to try and race overseas. Got some assistance and looked around, from the other managers overseas and stuff, and how it would work, to try and go overseas. Obviously, uh, it was a risk my dad was willing to take, to try and send me overseas to try and, put all this potential together and improve it, for me to go, obviously, to the bigger leagues. So, but during that conversation, I think it was the day my dad I was supposed to sign the contract, that day after. Uh, then my dad had passed away, and that's when my mom, it was all up to my mom. So it was really, yeah, hard for me to go over these in that season in 2021. So I had to started like in around July, uh, which was half the season. And yeah, so but then my mom obviously had we were supposed to sign the contract, but my mom only had signed later on because she was still contemplating. Obviously, with my dad's passing, we weren't sure if I was going to be alright to still do racing, because obviously my dad was like my best friend in racing. Go to the track together. With me is totally opposite ways, just a supporting him. So she was still trying to get the way of things again. And in that year, I still won the championship, even though I missed a race or two. But she would, she would help me a lot, and she also saw out the potential. And she sent me overseas, which was a really big move from her side also, to keep continuing with this dream me and my dad had.
Yeah, I mean, respect to your mom, because I mean that's a huge ordeal to go through on its own. Never mind now going and racing overseas. So if I'm correct in saying that the time you spent racing here in South Africa was mostly short circuit series. Now moving overseas, what was the biggest adjustment that you got over there halfway through a season where everyone sort of had time to adjust to their machinery? Now you arrive there, fresh meat, fresh off the plane, and all of a sudden you've got to climb on a bike and start achieving results. What was the most difficult adjustment you had to make when you got over there?
I think the biggest adjustment was me having to be more aggressive. Obviously the speed was a lot compared to the other guys. I missed a lot of speed. And obviously you're in South Africa and you kind of win some races, but always leading, and there
Yeah,
is like a guy can, it's hard to even lead all the laps of the race. They always fighting because everyone wants it more than like everyone wants the same thing, and
yeah.
it also changes your mentality a bit more. It's not something where you could go there unprepared. You have to be there prepared. As everyone fights for the same goal, same dream. With that being said, all this also this talent and the hard work and all the riders putting it in, you also need to, you want to try and put it in also, because it's not something that, as I said, you can't be show up unprepared. And that's what I did in the like the first race. It kind of opened my eyes. I think I finished like second last or last, somewhere at the back there. But it when I went back, yeah, I think my first race overseas was in Imola, yeah, in Imola, and I had so much pressure on me because the guys kind of intimidated me because I didn't expect them to be that fast. But yeah, it was a really tough experience at the beginning, but it was a good experience that opened my eyes into the racing world.
So when you say preparation, because that's quite interesting, you said that when you went in there you're probably a little bit undercooked, but preparation, what changed? When you say preparation, what needs to happen for you to know that when you arrive at the track, you prepared and ready to do battle?
I would say that uh, being prepared is like not obviously what I used to prepare for the races was obviously like right on the Tuesday of the race week and not train like the week, train like on the week of the race weekend, which I had to change, but I had to change like having been consistent with training, driving to the training as if it's like a race weekend, you know. You have to change the mentality of just going to train, you know, but you always want to go to training to basically learn something new, try something different, you know, try be on your limit and push your limit to the max, you know. So it kind of made me improve from there because I also got some advice from my team as I wanted to help me, which was enumeration. They suggested for me to, you know, try different bikes, bikes like, you know, that have speed. So you obviously you're not scared of speed and stuff, and do a lot of like physical work because the laps also like normally I remember in South Africa we used to do like 8 laps, you know, in the short circuit, but there is like 16, 17 laps, which is really a lot of laps, which
Yeah.
kind of also drain me a bit and drains you also mentally. So you have to be really prepared for that too.
So you've gone now. You've gone overseas, and we've done some time in the Red Bull Rookies Cup, and obviously you started to your pace is getting better. You're moving up the grids and that. What do you think from when you started to where you are now? What do you think the biggest difference has been for you as a rider over your short 3 year stint overseas? What do you think has changed the most that has allowed you to accomplish what you have already?
Uh, Moving to the Red Bull Rookies Cup, you know, it's obviously it's a big change from when I was racing the Italian Championship. Um, it's like for me, it feels like like really like it's a championship where everyone, you know, everyone wants to be there. You know, it's a championship where it's a step closer to the MotoGP. And it's not a easy step that not anyone like not everyone can take it. You know, it's a step where uh, it takes a lot of courage, risk. You know, you can be selected, but it's there's also a lot of stuff that come into play where you have to, you know, choose or know the main goal, you know, focus on it because when you arrive like to the Rookies Cup, it's like a different game, you know, because now everyone is on a different level, everyone is training twice as hard, you know, and it's like everyone wants it more than the other, and the level rises every year. And that being said, it's like on in the Red Bull Rookies Cup, like the level is really really high, close to the Moto3 World Championship. The times are really close. You know, everyone is on the limit, and it's just something you have to be prepared for because it's something that like doesn't only require talent, it like requires a lot of hard work that comes with it. You know, obviously you in the Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup, so it's a really big step from what you were probably racing before, and it is something that I am really grateful to be in because this obviously opened doors to my careers. It made me actually focus on the main goal and gave me even like more hope, you know, of being successful in the racing world. So it it is something that is a big accomplishment for me and my family.
They told me like, I mean, when I spoke to AJ, from what he told me is that you're pretty much based overseas now. You don't fly back and forth between race meetings. Then, where are you based now? And schooling and that? Are you done with schooling, or how does that work?
Currently, I stay in Spain. I stay close to Barcelona and Tarragona. I mean, it is a bit cheaper, obviously, to stay in Spain because of the races that I have. Because now I'm racing two championships, which is the Red Bull Rookies Cup and the Moto3 Junior World Championship. So flying in between the races back and forth to South African bike is really a lot, of course. But also being Spain based in Spain is obviously expensive, but it is really good because you train amongst the best people. You're training with world championship riders some days, and some days it helps you like the training. Also, well, I currently live in a riding school, which is Riders Formation. And this riding school, I currently live with two other riders inside the house, so I'm not the only one. But I moved here by myself. I was one of the first ones this year to move on. So I moved around January 16, and left my mom and my sister behind because they're not ready to relocate and stuff to take my career to the next level. So my mom sent me overseas to come and train here, and it's been really good because it was also suggestion from the Rookies Cup because obviously the training in South Africa uh, and the training in Spain is completely different because this in South Africa, you don't find like riders that can push you to your limits. There is a lot of fast riders in South Africa, but it's the way like during the week here in Spain, the guys train during the week. They train every day, and you try to obviously copy that schedule and stuff. And it's a really really big step of training from here to South Africa, as I normally used to train like once a week or once every 2 weeks. Like right now, I train like 5 days a week, which is really really good, and I've improved a lot since I've been here in Spain, which is something that uh, I'm also really grateful for because my mom, obviously leaving a child all overseas, all over Europe by yourself, because I normally travel alone to the races and stuff, because it's kind of costly for my mom to travel with me. So it's also kind of risky for my mom to, let her child go over, but it's a risk that I wanted to take, and which my mom believed that she could trust me in doing it, or trust herself in doing it.
Sounds like there's a lot of sacrifice that comes into play here, and like I mean, I've got big respect for your mom for letting you live out your dreams at such a young age. Because I mean, if you read some of these autobiographies on sportsmen that are away from home at a young age, it can go either very well or it can be catastrophic. But I mean, it sounds like you're doing good work over there. You said that you work and you train with a lot of world championship riders. That who's probably the most famous person that you have in your phone as a contact at the moment?
The most famous person in my context, I don't really know. I don't know.
You can,
Well,
you can say me, but I mean that's obviously a given. But moving on. So I mean now from what I hear, you've got a Moto3 or Red Bull Rookies Cup contract signed again for next year. So for 2025, you roll on again. What's the goal and the aim for next season? What are we trying to achieve just for next season, and what is the ambitions moving forward beyond 2025?
obviously in 2025, since being selected for the Red Bull Rookies Cup is another big opportunity for me to showcase my talent again. Now I'll probably come more prepared as I had my rookie season this year, learned a lot, and I know what to improve on for the next season. Obviously, my goals are going to rise. I will try to do my best, obviously, to try and get, top five in the championship, which is my goal for next season. You know, it's a goal that is achievable, and it's a goal that I know that I can achieve. I just need to, you know, as I said, I from this rookie season, it's a really it was a really good rookie season. I wasn't so consistent, but I was showing potential in some races where ending up finishing 1.5 seconds from the lead, getting top 10, and it is a really uh, good, it was a really good season of learning. Not easy one, but it's a season where I really enjoyed a lot. And uh, that being said, alongside the championship of Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup, we're also planning to sign another deal with AGR team for the 2025 Moto3 Junior World Championship, which is also really good because I can stay competitive and it gives me an opportunity to try and move upwards to the World Championship.
So, I mean, obviously, you're pushing now, and next season you've got some big goals and big aspirations. It's obviously now. I mean, the season is pretty much done for you, and we're into off season. What do you do now in the off season? Do you stay at the riding school and carry on training because they start to go into their winter season, or do you come home?
This winter season, I'm probably gonna come home to train a bit at home, obviously, because it's summer, it's going to be winter here in Europe, and at home it's going to be summer, so it will be really good to keep on training, But I also still have to do my exams also in November for school, which is now my grade 11 exams, where since I'm doing online school, I have to do them physical. So I go to I go back home in October, November to do my exams. And then December, I probably will be training in Malaysia or in South Africa, as Malaysia is like the riding school's second home where they train when it's winter here in Spain. So they have two homes. So I think, I don't know, maybe mid half of December or almost all December, probably be in Malaysia, and then January, February, I'll be in South Africa training, and well, January, I'll be South Africa training, and then February, I'll probably be back here in Spain, doing some training in Barcelona to prepare again more for the season.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, as you say, off season, but that's still a hell of a lot of riding that still needs to happen before you climb on a bike for 2025. Out of all the tracks you've ridden so far, which one have you enjoyed the most? And I mean, obviously, we're looking from short circuit right through to international circuits. Which one do you feel you've got the best potential to get on the podium?
For me, my favorite track is Le Mans in France, which I rode this year in the Red Bull Rookies Cup. It's really an awesome track. But I feel like the track where I feel like I'm the fastest and which I can probably try get a podium, is Mugello, in Italy. I really like the track. I'm kind of fast there, uh, but I think I can arrive to the podium next year in Mugello if I can really, put my head down.
Yeah, KJ, thank you so much for sitting down. I want to use all your data because I know you're sitting on the side of the track there. But just in closing, I mean, the floor is yours. Anyone you want to thank or throw anything out to in closing here? The floor is yours.
I'd like to thank my mom firstly. She's really put a lot of energy and time into supporting my dream and making this dream happen. It's not a really easy thing for a mother to do, as there's a lot of costs that come. She's trying her best with my manager to try and keep this dream alive, because normally it's, sometimes trying to get to MotoGP is something that doesn't only require talent but also requires like financial support. which is something my mom and you know which is trying her best to try and get other people on board to try and keep this dream alive, and I really appreciate that. I also like to thank AJ Fenter. He's helped me this whole year, you know, obviously with the boxing, killing me a lot in the boxing, but pushing me to my limits at the race weekends and always giving me tips, to stay positive and stuff. And he's worked on me not only on the track but mentally a lot. I'd like to thank a lot of people, my grandparents, and my family, both from my mother and father's side. Everyone has showed me a lot of support this year, and it's a year where I'm really grateful for because it's a year that not everyone gets this opportunity, and it makes me feel really special to have this support, and obviously I want next year to be a really, really good year, to try and do the best that I can. And, I think it'll be a really good year next year. And yeah, just I thank everyone. I think like Racing, Riders Formation, Sergio Mora, who's the leader of Riders Formation, helping me a lot this year. Uh, I want to thank also Danny Valier. There's a lot of people that I have to thank, but uh, I just thank them for this making this year possible. You know, Obviously, a lot also on the financial side. It's a stress, as I said, but they trying to make it possible for me to keep doing this, so that I can reach my goals and my dream. So I really thank everyone that was on board, and yeah, that's all I have to say.
Perfect, man. KJ, thanks again for sitting down with us and taking us through your story. And definitely keep us informed and keep in touch with us. And we'll obviously, whenever you've got some updates, send it our way and we'll share it with the Race Day fans. But it's been so awesome sitting down and hearing your story. And yeah, we're holding thumbs for you for your exams and for your testing and training and for 2025, man.
Exactly. Thank you so much
Thanks, man.
for having me on the show, and we'll speak.
100%, man. So yeah, thank you very much. So yeah, that was KJ, one of the fastest young men out in the Red Bull Rookies Cup, and we're holding thumbs for him that he has a successful 2025 season. And yeah, he's definitely handsome, humble, and hashingly fast.